Yo, 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 yo. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. It's Monday, September 15th. We're at the mid It's the middle of the month. We're mid-month through, and it's Monday. We got a big week coming up, man. We got FOMC. We've got some data coming in this morning, which I've done some aggregation of data. We're going to aggregate that, analyze it, talk about how this overlays with a lot of the recent data we got, and then that will allow us to do a little bit of prediction and speculation about what this week will look like. If you guys don't know, we did hit the 75% threshold band on alt season this weekend, and this morning we're back out of it again. As you guys can see, quite a bit of red here on the bubbles today on the daily. Looking at the hourly, though, we are starting to get a little bit of a turnaround. S&P and the NASDAQ both pumping really good right now, so hopefully we can get that. Looking at the chart for Bitcoin, guys, I'm actually watching for a retracement down here to this bubble. We'll talk about that level and why I'm watching that. I think that's going to be a good entry point. OC got a nice trade setup also going involving that range there. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And then, of course, we're going to talk about a couple of articles. Tesla. If you guys haven't heard, Elon Musk made a big announcement about stock buyback, and then NASDAQ also selling off today. So we've got one selling off and one pumping, kind of given this market volatility that we're seeing right now. But overall, guys, we're going to do it. We're going to break it down today. Welcome to the Morning Market Report. You guys know what time it is. Take your seats, get your notebooks out. Class is in session. See you on the other side. Let's go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. We break down the headlines, the macro, everything you guys need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Appreciate all of you guys being here. And let's go ahead and let's get, Alex O and the OG gang busting through the door. Let's go ahead and get over here, bring up the man, the myth, the legend, OC guy, and give a shout out to the Otter gang. Everyone joining in right now, welcome to the Morning Market Report. It's OG Monday. See, every Monday, OG shirt, OG coffee mug. There you go. Get it all. You guys can you guys too can enjoy all of this swag from the Otter gang at alexocrypto.com, I believe is what it is. So OC, what's up, man? How you doing?
Just so jealous, man. I just don't have my coffee, and I'm seeing you drinking it, and I'm just like, dude, salivating. but let me show you what I
You
got
would
in here.
probably ruin it with OJ anyway, so let's just be honest here, OC.
I love it, but yeah, I mean, look at what I just got in here. This is an automated labeling. And oh my God, that I'm gonna label every freaking thing that is around it, even like forehead, even or something like that. Man, I'm just dying to use this thing.
Can you use that? Can you use that on your mute button to remind you to check your mute button? That would be awesome.
That's actually a pretty good idea, man. I think I'm gonna put it right here on the volume on Elgato LXR thing and like unmute it. That will actually call my attention.
Just put it right atop. Did you press the unmute button? There you go. How would you say that in Spanish?
Presiona el botón mute, like press the mute button.
There you go. There you go. Spanish lessons here today on the Piper Academy. Thank you for joining us. Buenos dias. Me llamo es Army Piper. Yo soy fantástico. Guys, it's DCA Monday. It's DCA Monday. I did my DCA this morning. I actually went ahead and did a 2x Bitcoin purchase, which is why it's selling off. I did 2-time DCA buy-in on Bitcoin, but I did take 30% profit on Ethereum. So if you guys haven't done so yet and you're a member, make sure you go check your DCA stuff. OC, let's go jump in on the Bitcoin chart. I want to get through all of this. We got a lot to unpack today. Yeah, let's go see your setup. We'll talk about what's going on there, and then we'll come back and we'll do the news, and then we'll get into some other news that you guys need to know about, and take a look at altcoins. As the thumbnail said, alt season was here, and then it wasn't, and now we have to ask, is it going to happen? So OC, heading over to your chart. Let's check out Bitcoin. What are we looking at right now?
All right, so where we're looking right now is that this thing is just reminding me of the old Sega handheld. This was a battery eater, just like this thing. It just gives me so much like good memories. If you never played one of those, you guys missed out a lot. But let's go check out Bitcoin. All right, so we were looking at Bitcoin today morning, and I was looking at and calling Piper and telling Piper, you know what? I think I'm gonna be doing today a trade. I mean, if we have the good enough retracement, we have a double tapping here. We're decreasing on strength. Yes, decreasing on strength on the bearishness. Well, we're losing strength on the bearish. That means pumping up. That means at least a little ranging here, right? So, but also look at that. We're losing that zero lining here, and we have a smart money entry just around this area, right? It's true that this is also somewhat a smart money area entry, and that is because the amount of volume. This volume is just way too much for this area. So this is a little bit way better or closer to a smart money entry that I would like to see. I mean, this is way much closer to a smart money entry. And did I got stuck once again? Oh no, I don't know what happened here. All right, I'll try to fix that up. And something kind of like sometimes work like this. Let me see if that brings that thing up in life. If not, I'll just reboot the thing.
Don't know what
Yeah.
the fuck they're doing.
All right. So really quick before we go into the news, the thing just froze to me. All right, got it. I think I got it. I got it back. I think I got it back. Let me see really quickly and. Come on. There we go. The thing is working now. All right. So looking for the best area of support right here. Yay. It is like coming back down here because we have a predicted range golden line, one of the most important lines. We have dynamic reactor coming in, and we have the 25 low disparity, somewhat good volume, smart money entry. So I'm looking at where that dynamic reactor might be when we are having that flip, that valley here, or that maybe flip of the ribbon. Our volumetric still looks good, and our money flow, especially that money flow, looks pretty good. So I'm looking to maybe a continuation retest. This could be to be proven an area of resistance, and we'll have to see if that is a lower high to then continue downwards, or if that is actually just a breakthrough continuation. I actually expect it to be a dead cat bounce, like creating a lower, maybe something like that, a lower high. But it remains to be seen. So far, looking for a long somewhere around one. Oh, come on. 113,700 ish areas. And yeah, that's what I got so far with Bitcoin and Piper. You have some other confluence zones right there, isn't it?
I do. I do. Yeah, let's jump over there and take a look at that, guys. What he's referring to here is what I showed you at the opening of the show. I'm actually watching because right now we're at 114,485. And you can see this is our platinum pocket. We talked about this when it was resistance here. We broke above, wicked above the 786, pulled back into the platinum pocket. We had a little nice push up here. We tried to hold it as support. What happened? One last liquidity sweep, and then down we come. Right now, we're sitting at the 887. I'm actually thinking that this does break down here to the dynamic reactor from Chart Prime, also in line with the 1-to-1 fib line, which is a previous level of resistance. Where are these pulled from? I didn't pull these from anywhere over here, guys. These are actually pulled as trend-based fibs from these 3 points. And you can see we went all the way down into a lower band here, got a nice bounce off of that 50, came back in. You can just look at the levels of confluence that these fib levels have had. So the amount of confluence that these fib levels have had. There you go. Levels of levels, levels on levels on levels. But yeah, I'm watching this area right here, guys, coming in right about 113,300. So maybe part one entry at OC's 113.7 and part two they're at 113.3. OC, I think you're frozen again, my friend. But we're going to go ahead and jump over to the
Oh
news
man.
while you work on that. And OC camera issues as always. At least it didn't fall and it's hanging by the cable. So let's go jump over to the news and let's talk about everything we need to go through over here, guys. Got a lot of stuff going on today. Let's look at the metrics here from Into the Cryptoverse first. What are we seeing over here? Well, at the crypto market cap, we're at 3.98 trillion right now. The trend on this sitting at 4.357 trillion, currently undervalued about 8.47%. Wristbands, we're at 54.6% on the wristband. That's still a 2x DCA. On Bitcoin, that if we've dropped all those this morning. So if you guys are in our Discord, go check them out. Looking at the Bitcoin dominance here, Bitcoin dominance with stablecoins sitting at 57%. Without stables, 61.27. I know Bitcoin dominance is going down, but really, when you look at the grand scheme of things without stablecoins in there, it's still holding over 60%. I would say Bitcoin season. Or I would say that the Bitcoin rally not done yet, so has the potential to very quickly dominate, if you will, dominate the market place. So let's look at here. This is the alt season index, and I dropped this weekend because we were definitely in alt season on here. We triggered it over the weekend, went into the red. I dropped it and said, all right, guys, we're officially in alt season. According to the alt season index, question is, how long does it last? Evidently not very long, because we're now back at 73% under that 75% threshold. It is currently neither Bitcoin nor altcoin season. Altcoins in the top 50, that's the methodology here. Altcoins in the top 50 with a return on investment greater than Bitcoin, 33. Less than Bitcoin, ROI less than Bitcoin, 16 of them. So, and we can see it requires 75% of the top 50, not including stable coins and native tokens. The top 50 being better than Bitcoin's ROI over a 90-day period, okay? And so that would be 75% of the altcoins that would need to do that. So as of right now, not technically alt season already. The weekend was here and then it wasn't. So looking at the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, guys, right now on the Fear and Greed Index for Bitcoin, we're sitting at 53. We're in neutral. Looking at Michael Saylor, he did pick up strategy, some more Bitcoin. He picked up 525 Bitcoin for $60.2 million. Of course, this morning it was kind of funny. Cryptos R Us said, breaking, Michael Saylor buys Bitcoin. And I said, this is not breaking news. It's a Monday. He always buys Bitcoin. So don't know why people get so, he bought more Bitcoin. It's Monday. Of course he bought more Bitcoin. All you got to do is wait and see. If he puts out the orange tracker over the weekend, you know that Monday morning he's buying Bitcoin. That's just how it is. Ethereum, guys, sitting in 56. It's in greed. I did take 30% profit on Ethereum this morning. And a lot of the altcoins, if you guys don't know, a lot of the altcoins did trigger the 30% take profit. So, and some of them are really, really low and didn't trigger. They're like 5x DCA, but I don't know that I trust all those that much. So I'll just keep doing what I'm doing with my DCA. You guys can go to the buffet, pick out what you want, okay? Not financial advice. So, but I'm focusing primarily on major products, major tokens, products, and then I'm Bitcoin and Ethereum, really, that's it. So, I thought he did put out the orange tracker. He did. He put it out. That's how I knew that Monday he was going to buy. That's why when they say breaking news, Michael Saylor bought Bitcoin. No, it's Monday. Breaking news, it's Monday. There you go. Kabisi letter, guys, this week going on, all the events this week. August retail sales data, that comes out tomorrow. Wednesday, we're going to get the Fed rate decision. That's the FOMC day. Right now, looking like 25 basis points. FOMC press conference, that's the unknown. Will he be hawkish or dovish? I think he might go, hey, we did a rate cut, but I'm still a little hawkish. We're keeping an eye on this stuff. We'll just have to wait and see. Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index is going to be out on Thursday, and then we're going to get our weekly unemployment claims. That's also on Thursday. So, yeah, first Fed rate cut of 2025 coming this week. And then we're going to come back and talk about this. This is about how the stock market performs when you get a rate cut at market all-time highs, and we'll come back and talk about this in just a little bit, so stay tuned for that. Looking at the past 24 hours at liquidations, 166,722 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations came in at $427.6 million. The largest single liquidation order happened on Bybit It was a Bitcoin trade for $9 million. No big deal there. Just it's a Monday. There you go. Looking at the stock market right now, guys. Dow Jones, S&P, and the NASDAQ all in the green. Dow Jones just pretty much flat, though, 0.01%. S&P up 0.4%, and the NASDAQ up 0.6, almost 0.7% there. Even the Russell 2K, even the small caps, getting a little boost today, up 0.4. Look at the volatility index, though. It's up 2.9% today. We are seeing that volatility rear its ugly head. How's the bond market looking? Well, 10-year Treasury yield selling off a little bit here, staying in that 4.0 range. And gold, let's talk about gold. It's about to break $3,700 here, up slightly today. Silver sitting at 42.67 with a little bit of a pullback. Copper's up 0.7, almost 0.8%. Platinum and palladium seeing some sell-off. Palladium being the big seller there at 3.85% to the downside. That's what we're seeing there. Tesla. Tesla's looking juicy today, guys. Tesla shares gain as Elon Musk reveals a rare $1 billion stock buy-in, sign of confidence in the EV maker. So, yeah, they announced that they're going to buy back 2.57 million shares well, they did buy it. They bought 2.57 million shares at various prices on Friday with a total worth around $1 billion. So they are buying back $1 billion worth of their share. That's why Tesla's getting a nice jump today. We'll look at that chart in just a minute. OC, can you pull up Tesla and have that ready to go? And then also you're going to want NVIDIA. You're going to want both of those ready to go because NVIDIA, according to China, violated anti-monopoly laws after preliminary probe, and they're actually seeing some sell-off this morning on the NASDAQ side. Looking at the crypto bubbles, how are these things looking? Well, a lot of red on the hourly and the daily here across the board. Bitcoin down about 0.8% on the daily. Ethereum's down 2.8%. XRP down 0.9%. Solana's down 4.4%. Doge is down 7.6. Big movers, Cardano is down 3.5. Chainlink down 4.1. A lot of sell-off here on the daily. Hourly starting to make a rebound to the upside, but overall, pretty much red down the board there for most of the tokens, except for these, obviously the stable coins, and then Athena USDE, which is also a native stable token to the Athena network. But overall, lots of red here on the crypto side today, despite the green market. Let's do that. Come back in here. There we go. Perfect. We did get New York Empire State manufacturing data this morning, guys. Was at 11.9. They expected that it would be 5 to 10. Came in negative 8.7. So I said, all right, we're going to have to break this down a little bit here. Can we jump over and talk about that with ChatGPT? And of course, she obliged. So I said, let's unpack this and overlay this with the backdrop of the recent data reports that we've looked at. What does this look like? The report, Empire State Manufacturing Index, headlined negative 8.7, right? 8.7 key drivers, new orders. So new orders for New York State manufacturing dropped to negative 19.6 from positive 15.4. That's a big red flag. Factories are not getting new demand. Shipments also tanked to negative 17.3. That's a weak follow through on top of not getting good orders. And then unfilled orders worsened. Companies are catching up on old work, but not replacing it with new orders. Inventories down for the second month suggests that firms don't want to hold stock when demand is weak. They don't want to be sitting there with money tied up in goods, right? So they're not really stocking up on their inventory. And then employment was basically flat. No layoffs yet, but no hiring either. Work week shrank. People are getting less hours. No overtime equals less demand, which also means less money into the economy from the consumer, right? Prices, input prices were still elevated. Firms are paying more for raw materials. Inflation's still there. And then seller prices moderate. They cannot fully pass on the cost to consumers. That squeezes the margin, less profit for the company, which leads to that company also maybe cutting more hours or doing layoffs. So the outlook is muted. Businesses don't expect much improvement over the next 6 months, especially on jobs, guys. And so we overlay this with some other recent data. And how would this look? Consumer sentiment, we got this last week. We talked about it, dropped to 55.4. And then down here, it's got the overlay with this new data in relation to this. Weak demand on the consumer side matches the manufacturer reporting of weak new orders. Looking at retail sales, it lines up with the Empire State Report showing orders falling, especially if households are pulling forward purchases before the tariffs hit harder. So another confluence point there on the economic outlook. Jobs data matches the flat employment in the Empire State Report. Factories aren't cutting workers yet, but they're not expanding either. Direct tie-in Empire State firms are seeing elevated input costs in line with the inflation CPI and PPI. And then the Fed's Beige Book, which we talked about last week also, the report showed slowing demand, margin pressures, and weak outlooks across multiple regions, hiring, cooling in the manufacturing sector. The Empire Report is basically the New York version of what the Beige Book already signaled nationally. So not just seeing this in New York, we're seeing this across the country. The bigger picture, demand is weakening, inflation expectations are rising, employment is flatlining, tariffs are the common thread, hurting sentiment, raising input cost, and distorting consumer spending. So the so what on this all about crypto and stocks, so we'll just look at those. If market prices in stagflation, if the market's price in stagflation, Bitcoin could benefit as a hedge. But if the equities sell off hard, which is very likely, then crypto will still take a liquidity hit on short term. That just means another opportunity to set your DCAs. But it also means that if you've got a lot of profit, don't be afraid to take some profit. No one's ever gone broke taking profit. So equities, industrial and manufacturing sensitive sectors such as machinery, raw materials, and autos are at risk. Margin under pressure could drag earnings on outlooks. So bottom line, the bottom line up front for you military type, the Empire State Report confirms the same story that consumer sentiments hint to that, a weakening economy, higher cost, and fading optimism. This is stagflation light, not a collapse, but a grind of weaker demand and sticky cost. And that's what we got there from ChatGPT based on this data. What other data we got coming out this week? Tomorrow, guys, we're getting retail sales coming in. That's going to give us a lot of data. How's it looking like right now? We're previously at 0.5% positive, now only going to be a 0.3 to 0.4. Still a positive number, but less than our previous retail sales, meaning consumer buying down, right? Flag station. Get to the flag station, Limit Beach said. Stagflation, flag station, whatever. Just buy Bitcoin. Looking here at also on Tuesday, we're going to get the housing market index here, guys. It's going to be a little bit of a sentiment. It's actually up a little bit. So interesting. I have to call Rich Smother, have to call Crypto Billy and have a talk to him about that because that NAHB, he actually votes in that. So Wednesday, September 17th, guys, building permits, housing starts, but the big one, Fed interest rate decision. It's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then 30 minutes later, we're going to get the press conference with Jerome Powell. And then Thursday, weekly unemployment there. That'll be it for the week on Thursday. Not that there's not enough going on here, but how are we looking for the rate cuts? Flashbang. Get in the hole. Look here, guys. Let's give it a refresh and make sure that we got this correct, because it's a very low chance now of 50 basis points, which is a good thing. I said that if we hit 50 basis points, we would be in a emergency reaction response there with rate cuts, and that would likely be a very big red flag for the economy. We're now looking at 25 basis points, and that's good. So 96.4% chance that we get 25 basis point rate cut in September. Of course, I think we're going to get the same thing in October. We're looking at that. Actually, 16% chance of 25 basis points in October, but this will adjust as September happens. So if right now they're saying by October, we will see 50 basis points, 50%, 0.5%, right? Full half percent for October if we don't get one in September. So they're basically saying by October, we should see 50 basis points. That can be 25 in September and 25 in October. If we get 25 in September this week, then this will shift over to a 25 basis point likelihood there. And then December, of course, we've got, again, looking at 75% chance of 75 basis points rate cut by December, which would be 25 in September, 25 in October, and 25 in December. That's how that works. And now you know. The more you know. Guys, remember that Bitcoin whale that did all of that selling of Bitcoin not long ago? Well, on Hyperliquid, remember that? Yeah, well, Bitcoin well deposits another 1,176 Bitcoin to Hyperliquid following a $4 billion ETH rotation, according to on-chain analysts. The OG well, who recently swapped billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin for ETH, has resumed selling Bitcoin, according to the look on-chain. Wallets linked to the well deposited another 1,176 Bitcoin to Hyperliquid over the weekend. So you've been warned. You've been warned. Be aware. Be prepared. Don't be scared. How are we looking on max pain, longs versus shorts? Short max pain right now sitting at 117,000. That would be the max pain level for people that are in short trades. That's about 2.29% away for $230 million. For $264 million, though, they could drop it down to about 112,900, and that's only about 1.31% away, and that would be max pain on your longs. That is about all I have here on the news, guys. I am going to come back and talk about this a little bit, just as if we have time thing. Pretty interesting stuff in there. Updates on that this morning. But let's go ahead and jump back over here. OC, dude's dropping more Bitcoin to sell on Hyperliquid. What are you thinking about that, man?
We're looking for Bitcoin to have a little bit of a retracement, right? That might be a little bit of what's going on in here, and of course, adding to this rejection. So it's been said that show me the charts, I tell you the news, right? Kind of stuff. But well, as long as we are just looking at where the supports, where the resistance, planning for long the supports and short the resistances, most likely we're going to get a positive outcome. But nonetheless, I mean, other than trading stuff, I haven't actually looked at the Monday DCA, to be honest. But that is a pretty good area to get started with. So it doesn't matter what happens as long as we follow on our DCA strategy. I think we're not only going to be okay, we're going to be better than okay. So not really too scared. But still, just trading the day as we go.
Yep. Reading the chat here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's go give them a shout out, and then we can jump over and take a look at what else we're seeing here on some other charts, guys. Got to take a look at NVIDIA and Tesla if you have those pulled up, OC. Looking here, Alexandra G. Darren does things. He said the beige book matters. Got to see how many cuts and future plots. Absolutely, guys. The beige book. You got to read the beige book. Lunar Beach's Crypto LBC in here with that new baby. He was live last night, so I dropped in to say hey to him. Appreciate you being here, LBC. Dylan VA. Califinton here with us. Melissa in here. Alexandra G. The mod queen is everywhere. She's everywhere, man. Who else we got in here? A lot of people. We're sitting with about 126 right now total. 118 on YouTube. The rest are on X. Guys, if you haven't done so yet, smash that like button. It helps us out immensely. We appreciate everyone being here, though. Shout out to the Wix Wi-Fi 89 and the Wix and Steve Hickey and JR, everyone that is here. Appreciate you guys all. But OC, hello. How you doing?
Hello. Fantastic.
OC, let's go
learn how to open doors, and he just goes in.
that because dogs are amazing, man. That's why. I want to go pull over here and take a look at the high time frame, the daily here on Bitcoin real fast, and we're going to come back. We'll take a look at Tesla, take a look at NVIDIA, and then we'll look at some altcoins. But let's jump over here and let's take a look at the daily on Bitcoin right now, guys. We did get this pullback here. And look, we hit the 50-day simple moving average. So keep that in mind. May not actually get all the way down to OC's entry. But look at that max pain level. We were talking about that on that chart, on the max pain chart. Max pain 112,900. Take a look. 112,900 would come in right around the 100-day simple moving average also. So if we do lose this 50, right there is that entry for that max pain level for the short trades, for the long trades, I should say, which would give the maximum amount of liquidation there on long and then bounce from there. So I am watching that level also. That's going to be about 112,700 there. You can see here we are cooling off on the histogram for the daily, starting to get a curvature on the MACD normalized ribbon. We did get a downtrend trigger on the daily Prime Oscillator Pro, and we are coming down there. Money flow is coming down. But on the daily, we're seeing an increase in volume. I will point out, though, we are sitting here again at that 70% mark above it and starting to get a flattening out of the candles here. On the daily, I am seeing indication of a downside move. But of course, this couldn't just saddle and then we do it again, right? We've seen this before. Saddle, do it again, right? And so where we are right now, let's watch for that saddle. How will we know if that's coming? That would be that we get a bounce here on the 100-day or staying on the 50-day. And that's what I'm seeing on Bitcoin right now on the higher time frame top down look. OC, let's go over it. Let's take a look at what the couple of those other stocks that we talked about. And then, of course, gold and the alts. And, you know, what do you got for us, man? Lead us through the day in the markets right now.
Absolutely. I also see that read that what is it? Harp hashtag Harp lows AERO. So yeah, absolutely. We can take a look at AERO. Getting started with Tesla. Wow, I mean that was positive, massive volume breakout. Well, that is moderate, to be honest. Moderate volume breakout on that range. That is pretty good. That talks about we have a CME gap here, so we could have a retest, but for only a continuation. So that is a pretty good movement that we have throughout the weekend. And well, then it looks like we could be hitting previous highs. So where are our previous highs? Right there, our previous resistance at somewhere around 439, 36, 37, somewhere around that ballpark. It is right there. Let me bring up my order blocks to see if I have them somewhere around here. And seems like, all right, they are all right down below here. So we haven't had any migration of order blocks, at least from here. Well, just this one in here, the same area where we have our liquidity zone. All right. So far, so good. Looking like this is going to be the reaction zone or the reaction area right there. And by the way, we have a breakout right here on our predictive ranges. This is important since we have a breakout on predictive ranges right here, and we haven't had, or we went through the weekend and we don't have data here. Well, it's going to take a little while, maybe one candle, to regenerate another set of predictive ranges. So just be aware of that. If you're looking at your predictive ranges and you see a little gappy here and the new one have just not formed just yet, that is because it created right there on a no information gap. All right, but let's go back and take a look at NVDA. NVDA, it is having a little bit of a retracement. We already have also a low volume breakout. Usually those low volumes means for sure retracement or even fake outs, right? So we had that retracement. We went to hit our predict ranges, and then we created a dead cat bounce going lower. We are making a little bit of a megaphone in here. All right, so this is going to come in important when we start closing this same gap, and then maybe going over either area number 166.88, or area number 2, 160.44 zones. And that is because that's where we're going to be having our support. We're going bullish right now, and we're at the top of the zero line. Yes, but look at your money flow. It's going red, and we could have a little mountain here, and we're losing strength on that bullishness. So that means range or up, all right? And so far, I believe that we're going to be continuing with this range at least and grabbing some more liquidity right in here before having a continuation breakout. Let's not forget that right now, NVIDIA, it's kind of like in a partnership with the U.S. government. So, well, despite whatever they do, they might have some, I don't know, help from the state. And that is just my speculation, right? That is not a fact, just so you guys know. All right. And other than that,
I think the big thing on NVIDIA is, has the AI narrative changed? No. So I don't see this being a long-term effect. Matter of fact, I think this is just give an opportunity for another pump up later on this week. So my opinion, my 2 cents, my 2 Satoshis right there. There you go.
Perfect. And by the way, I was just about to throw it back to you, Piper. And before I get to CRV, AERO, DDT, and some other
Well, we had a
other coins.
request. We had a request for PEPE also. So, and I want to take a look at PEPE. So let's jump over and look at that because we are seeing the alts make a little bit of a rally, and it actually is a little troubling for me for what my hopium is that we see this pump up to the upside. So let's go take a look at PEPE, and then we'll come back and talk about the path to alt season and what that actually says about memes ripping off. So.
Absolutely. So let's first, I already have AERO prepared here. So what I'm going to be going for right here, it is going to look for PEPE. And I think, yeah, we already have it here. So let's go check that out. Right click, of course, and open link. Here we got it. And we have that retracement. Something important, it is that we were expecting a breakout. Perfect. That played out fantastically. A retest did not actually play it out because we stood still in here. So we have, we corrected over time. And then off we go. That off we go happened way higher up here. And well, then right now we're coming back down for a big correction. Everything that was given is taken right now. And I think the first area of entry is going to be right here on this quote unquote area of smart money entry. And that is because this is not an actual area of smart money entry, because despite everybody was just pointing at the same zone, well, then we just have too much volume. That big volume actually make it an area of retail. So, hey, for once, retail was ready to work together to push a meme coin to the upside. Who would have thought, right? Meme coins pushing. All right. So other than that, looking for a soft re-entry, we have our predictive range right down here. Let's see if we have anything else around that area. Yes, that quantum reactor. Let's see how is our dynamic reactor stick to the price. So not really of much use right now. We have another support that we're breaking, and we're gonna be looking. And this is important, guys. Our prepare where at least I take my entries, or my triggering point is, all right, I have my support zone. Perfect. That is an area where I'm gonna start looking maybe for a reentry, and that's how you look at me placing this kind of things, right? So a possible longs. But my actual area of entry is going to be as I flip right here, or as I flip right there, and I have enough money flow, enough strength, or enough volume jumping into the market. And that's when I start to apply for that support or that resistance. If I don't get those, I just hold my entry despite I was looking at that same zone. So that's how I time my entries. All right, so let's look for something else right here. Well, yep, we have the same predictive range in here. Let's see, you have a soft order block right down there. And let's see if we have anything else. Let me minimize this for a second. And of course, well, yeah, look at that. We are getting very close to an area of support. So for me, I will be maybe aiming a little bit lower in here, because it's truth that we also have an area of liquidity right in here. So maybe waking back up, maybe making that higher low would be the way to go in finding another re-entry right here. But so far, so good. Let me add my alerts. There it is. And I am ready to look at the next thing. Would you like me to go over AERO and the other altcoins?
We're going to go over AERO right after this. I do want to address, because I wanted you to look at PEPE, that big pump up that it had there, giving all those gains back. But guys, if we start to see the meme coins take off, that's problematic for where we are in the cycle. And I'll show you guys why. Flashbang warning here. So prepare yourself. It's getting ready to be a white screen. I can't do anything about it. What we're looking at here is the path to alt season. Phase 1, Bitcoin. Had that all cycle pretty much. Phase 2, Ethereum. Definitely got that. It took off, made a new high, right? Phase 3, large caps. We've been seeing the large caps start to move. That's your Solanas, your XRPs, right? We've had these tier 2s, right? Maybe some tier 3s start to take off. Look at phase 4 of the alt season, though. Large caps have gone full vertical. We're seeing blow off tops. Mid caps, Low caps, micro caps all tend to pump around the same time. Large caps have been outperforming Bitcoin and Ethereum. We haven't seen that yet. We saw large caps pump, but we haven't really seen them blow off and just crush Bitcoin and Ethereum. Memes are everywhere, and everyone is super excited. You feel the mania in the air. If these altcoins, if these meme coins, I should say, start to run and take off, that would mean that we didn't get the performance of a large cap phase 3, and we've already moved into phase 4 of alt season, which typically is the end. So I just wanted to bring that up. Keep an eye on those memes. If you start to see those things tear off, something's amiss in the phase cycles here of what we normally see. So it doesn't mean that there can't be a continuation. It means that something has changed. We now must take the new data, go back into the cycle of analytics, and then restart a new analysis based on the new information. So that's the analytical process. There you go. OC, let's go take a look at AERO. We had a request for that. It looked like there was a pretty big gap there. Let's go see what that looks like, man.
Absolutely. Actually, talking about our era, look at what we just got right now. And I could not make this up. Look at that, crossing the 134. And this was created, just like you can see here, created on Friday the 12th. All right, so we were looking at AERO right here, looking for that. Oh, man, a little too late. Come on. That is a bummer. All right, we were looking here for a possible, well, we were having a long, taking some profit at previous highs, crossing over the trend line, and we were talking about that going short on that trend line, and then coming back down for some support. Look at that right here. We had that support, and well, then we had that flip of the ribbon, and this is a good one, or this is a very difficult one. If you were not able to take this one, I wouldn't blame you. Because look at this. Let me hide this for a second. Let's remove that again. And well, your entry was either here or right now. But right now, come on, this is not an entry. So your entry was right here. And then you had your first body and candle or body and wick in profits. So based on my strategy, that would have forced me to push my stop to entry. Basically on the next candle, taking me out and then blowing. All right, that was a hard one. That was a pretty, I don't know, pretty hard one to take, I would say. That fake you out and then secondary entry and off we go. All right, so other than that, looking good. I mean, it is pushing high to previous areas of resistance, right? Right there. And then, well, we could be expecting some big pushbacks on this area, as we're seeing. So let's see how we have our order blocks. And well, in the meantime, our money flow, it's right there. Our money flow POC, which is a very problematic zone, or an area with big absorption. And let me start bringing up a couple of other stuff. Oh, we look at that. We have our quantum reactor acting up on that area. So what I'm going to be looking for, it is at least a 50% breakout in here, all right, through that area, closing that candle or a secondary candle for then breakout retest and looking at a breakout in here, maybe some hiccup like this, all right, or like that, much better like this, and that will give us a further continuation. If you're looking for a reentry, that will be it. But in the meantime, we need to wait. So AERO, well, hopefully you were able to take this. I wasn't, but it was a pretty good move that happened. That's what I got on AERO. Yes, I mean, well, sometimes it happens like that, right?
Yeah, but when you see something like that tear off that we saw in PEPE, and then you get that big retracement, giving it all back, yeah, that's ROMO. Do you know what ROMO is, OC?
Round trip.
No, relief
Yeah.
of missing out. I got a little thing here.
Oh,
I follow this guy on TikTok. He's pretty funny, but ROMO, relief of missing out. So there you go.
ROMO, the relief of missing out. Yeah, my friends hit me with, yo, bro, you should come out. It was wild. Yeah, I bet. I bet it wasn't. Meanwhile, I was at home, emotionally stable, financially responsible, and pants free. I mean, you guys paid $18 for.
Love this guy. I have a lot of ROMO, okay, in my life. That's all there is to it. I have a lot of ROMO in my life, and I'll apply ROMO to that PEPE pump off there. Yep, somebody probably made some money, but most people probably round tripped and are giving it all back. So I have relief of missing out. So volume was low. I don't know. Sometimes TikTok is weird like that. It depends on their upload volume. So my bad. But he was talking about relief of missing out. So there you go. OC, how are we looking on the rest of the alts? Let's take a look at our big ones. We need to know about Ethereum. We need to know about XRP. We need to know about Solana. ADA. Let's go take a look at those before we head over to Crypto Coin Mindset. We're going to join Keith and TI Joe over there today. So let's go look at these other altcoins and see how they're looking. Hopefully, our large caps are still large capping in the cycle phase, and we're not seeing it into that. How are we looking there?
Well, somewhat like that, all right? I was expecting this to happen a little bit earlier, right? So like this, as you can see, we were expecting that big mountain. And, well, we also were expecting, or I was expecting a breakout continuation for that big target, right? It happened faster. It happened way faster. I mean, we weren't that far away, of course. We were hitting previous highs at these areas, or even right here to be much more clear, right on the same areas that we were looking for that retracement. We also have some big resistances right there, all right? So it's not a surprise that we have that rejection. In fact, it was not a surprise movement. What it was a little bit of a surprise, it is that we did not have the little pullback right before that movement. Nonetheless, we already ooh, come on, I raised something that I didn't intend to. Let's keep this on its place. Let's get rid of everything else. There we go. We're getting back to my yeah, first cameras, then microphones, then charts. What is it left, man? They don't know what the F they're doing. Love it. All right, so looking at possible re-entries right here, we're getting very, very, very close. Look at your dashed line or your dotted line. It's getting closer to this next support zone, which also comes in very close to our box right there. So as always, we're going to be looking for that maybe bottom valley, flip of the ribbon, money flow picking back up. And this is going to be the big one, the money flow right now. And you might be seeing me or talking about all day, all night, money flow through right now. And that is because look at the actual money. Big output, somewhat just like just complying with what it needs to do, right? And that's something I don't like to see. I like to see this kind of big pump, a big injection money flow, and that's what I want to see as we are having a flip of the ribbon. So a little bit more downwards area right here. Something important it is that we have a thick, there we go, very, very thick ribbon right here. What happens? What does that mean with that thickness? Well, when we slice, for example, right here, our ribbon, you see that we start having the same thickness or very close to the same thickness, right? Which means, and this one actually plays out much better. Look at that, much thicker. That we could be having a violent flip of the ribbon. Let's see what happens on those areas. Look at that. What happened was we got thick and then we rejected. Well, we have the very bottom at a support zone, dynamic reactor, and predictive range all together, right? So that is an important area to have our eyes on. So right now we're having that thick dynamic reactor, sorry, that thick ribbon on our oscillator, looking just for money flow to run back up, and of course our blue valley to start turning around. So that would be basically my entry. I'm looking for a possible re-entry somewhere around right here, 4,400 or 4,450. In fact, let's add our alert. Sorry about that. Let's add our alert right here. And there we go. It came out to be at 4,460. So very close. So again, not because we have an alert, means just blindly entering, but it is because we have an alert. We're coming back to the charts to read and look for that confirmation. But yeah, looking forward for Ethereum. Going to CRV really quickly. There we go. CRV finally going downwards, breaking the trend line. This is very important for me because remember, we've been trying to short this thing for the longest time. Quick and important setup. Am I shorting this? Not just yet. All right. So I was looking for that breakout retest continuation. Our first taking profit played out very nicely. We were looking for a second profit, but remember I told you there is a slight chance that we just do a half of the way going back down, and then when we start losing our dynamic vector, which at that point I thought they would have been somewhere around up here, well then that's where we start looking for shorts. So far, let me clear this up and celebrate because guys, we're not late to the party. Look at the big empty freaking hole that we have all the way since here to right there. Yes, we have a little bit of a hiccup, maybe a support zone. We have that spike, and also we have a predictive range. But look at that. If this plays out, and I'm just waiting for something like that to then short it and position myself, we could be looking at, and this is not massive, but it's still a pretty good area. 28.9, which at 10x, which what I'm doing right now is at a 289% run up or run down to be more precisely. So, I mean, who would have complained about a 300% run? I wouldn't. So that's what I'm looking at. CRV, guys, keep your eyes peeled on CRV. And what I'm going to be doing is adding another alert right here on this volume spike. Right here on this volume spike at 0.78. So looking for that position myself entry zone. Let's take a look at Link. Link again, oh man, we've been hitting. I mean, all of the trades that we've been taking have been 1 TP hidden. We have been, I mean, making some money, right? But they haven't been like that huge run-ups, right? After breakouts continuation. But that's fine. We have another very nice entry right there for Link. And we are losing our zero line in here, our trend line. So it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. Off we go. Important. We are looking at this spike, all right, that talks about little ranges, all right, or ranging zones, just like in here, and we could be forming something like a head and shoulders, and then looking for or judging for that movement, maybe target we already have marked at 2141. This is not a new zone. This is a range bound that we've been calculating for the longest time ever since we were having this rooftop analysis. All right. So far, so good. Looking for a breakout retest continuation or a little range and continuation downwards. So looking for a short on right here on Link. Let me add a last resort alert at 23 and a possible re-entry right here to this smart money area entry very close to our POC money flow right up here. So I will be looking to hunt this little range top. All right, so that's what I'm going to be looking for. And just to be clear, somewhere around here, right? Somewhere around those areas, my stop loss is going to be back above this trend line. And that's going to be the story of Link. I saw someone else also going for what was that? LDO or something. Not 100% sure. I think I lost it. Let's see. Not sure. But let me know, guys, on the side chat. What am I missing? Going for Dogecoin. Dogecoin has its run up. Everything that was given is taken. Right now, also looking for that flip of the ribbon. And that flip of the ribbon, based on my estimates and where the bulk of the thing is just concentrating, it is right here at the previous resistance becomes new support zone. All right. So looking for that area for a possible retracement to create a dead cat bounce and then long it, and then short it, of course. All right. So looking for that on Dogecoin. And finally, have we gone over TAO? Nope. So let's go check that out. TAO was ringing right here today at 3 a.m. No, the 13th. So 2 days ago at 3 a.m. Of course, I was not looking at it and I did not care, but we already have taken some profits right there. Going for TP number 2 was not reached, which was fine. And right now we are creating a break of the trend line. Let me just get rid of everything here so we can go over this area. And by the way, this trade was not taking because I got distracted by looking at Lira, but that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Right now we're hitting a support trend line in here. This is very important. And look at that. Look at the bright color coming in, and look at the strength in here, which means that at this point we could have maybe a fake out, and this is going to be a danger Will Robinson zone, because we will have to wait to see if it's a breakout confirmation or a fake out confirmation. All right, so something a little bit lower, somewhere around there. Let me add a lock on here, and of course add an alert, and I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled. Most likely it's gonna be a short all the way to 311. Guys, what am I so bearish? Well, it's not that I'm bearish. I'm balancing my trades. Remember, we already have given 2 possible entries, 3 possible entries for a long-term scenario, right? I mean, Ethereum was long. Which one we looked at? Bitcoin was long. And which other one was also for a long run? I don't quite remember which other one was. My alerts are set. So, yeah, I'm going to link short. No audio, maybe it's mute.
Think 1 second.
All right, let me start typing here. Mute for Piper button.
I think we're
And
good
that's
now.
it.
There we go. We're back.
Perfect.
Yeah, we had a little glitch there. I don't know what happened, but we're back. We're good. So yeah, you're getting your trade set up. So are you close to being a millionaire now, OC? Are you loading? Millionaire loading?
Well, kind of. To be honest, I'm pushing a lot of in home renovation. And I mean it's been pretty good. It's been good. But becoming a
I'm here
millionaire.
to let you guys know I'm almost a millionaire. I have all the zeros. I just need the one.
Exactly. There you go. So I just need the one. The one. That's what we're all looking for, is the one, right? So, OC, a little update for you before we head over to the crypto coin mindset. Charlie Kirk shooting stuff. I don't know if you've seen the latest. You've been following this at all, OC?
Yeah, I end up when they make a overview on how the shooter escaped planet and stuff. None don't know the motives.
Well, they
That's
captured
so
him. They don't
far.
know the motive. He's not being very forthright with giving information in his with his capture, right? So the government comments coming after the 22-year-old was arrested on Friday, right? After being turned in by a family friend. But interesting update here is his roommate that they're getting a lot of information from. He's not giving a lot of information up, but his roommate, aka romantic partner, Cox also confirmed reports that investigators have interviewed Robinson's roommate, who was described as a romantic partner and is transitioning from male to female. So there's the latest. There's the latest on the radicalization of the shooter. Yeah, guys. Hopefully Friday my house sells. Hopefully. We had a little hiccup on that. I don't have time to discuss it all today. I'll talk about it today in the VIP session in the Discord. But yeah, I absolutely almost lost the home sale last week, and by no fault of mine or our realtors. So we'll talk about that later on today. But we're about to head over to Crypto Coin Mindset right now, guys. When you get over there, drop the graduation caps. OC, appreciate you as always. I know you got to head over and do the Chart Prime session, so appreciate you. Make sure you guys tune into OC at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Trade setups with the OC guy, and then tomorrow morning, What do you got?
I'm not gonna be going live today. By the way,
Oh.
it's our Independence Day. Yeah, today is not
Oh.
Cinco de Mayo, but today is our Independence Day, our real Independence Day.
The real independent, the Mexican Independence Day, not the one that America thinks it is. Yes.
Yes. So I'm gonna be taking the day off, and maybe I just come in for a 30-minute session or something. Not 100% sure, but let's call it out that today I'm gonna be just like preparing for this patriotic party. I'm not gonna be doing much, just hanging out with the family, and that would be it. So most likely today there's not gonna be a show, but tomorrow I promise you that there's gonna absolutely be one.
All right. Sounds good. So don't tune in tonight. Tune in tomorrow night. But if you're a member, make sure you join us in the VIP session today. Maybe OC can drop in there for a minute and just be like, hey, here's an update on your trade this morning or something. I don't know. We'll see. We appreciate you, OC. Yep. Head out, bro. You got to go. Guys, we're going to head over to Crypto Coin Mindset right now. We appreciate all of you guys. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., bringing you guys the news, the charts, the markets, the macro, everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Until next time, peace, love, profits. And as Alexander G says, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Later.
That's the rap. Chart stack data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual, signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done. We'll see you at the next one.
Don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude.
Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?